Philosophy tortures our minds. In the continental philosopher Henri Bergson's book, Intro to Metaphysics, he discusses how violently difficult it can be for our minds to understand reality, along with essentially rationalism versus intuitions. Bergson says that our intelligence can embed itself in and adapt to the endlessly changing direction of moving reality. Our intelligence can grasp reality through the intellectual sympathy that we call intuition. Rationalist materialism cannot allow us to understand reality. We can only see the true ceaselessly moving nature of reality through intuition rather than trying to understand it rationally. This is profoundly challenging. The mind has to do violence to itself in order to accept this intuitive way of thinking. In our modern Western culture, we're used to trying to think rationally as much as possible. So it can feel unnatural to us, in spite of the fact that it's actually more natural for us to think intuitively than it is for us to think rationally. Humans do not generally behave rationally. We just attempt to do so, which is against the way in which we've evolved. So, the mind has to habitually change all of its strategies. However, this is how we can acquire fluid concepts. Our intuitive minds will help us follow and adopt the movement of reality in all its winding sinews. Bergson argues that this is the only way a small p progressive and somewhat universal philosophy can be built. It will be liberated from standard disputes in different schools. It can naturally solve all of its own problems because it will be freed from the artificial expression of what questions are asked. If you pursue the right questions and use the right intuitive perspective, you can grasp the moving nature of reality. So, philosophizing inverts our habitual direction of thought in our current culture, making it intuitive since materialist rationalism has us attempting to be rational all the fucking time. Reality is nearly fucking impossible to understand, but Bergson thinks that we're capable of doing it. Reality is endlessly moving in different directions. We can only grasp it through intuition, but this is so motherfucking challenging that it requires us doing violence to our own minds. Metaphorically, of course, but we're so used to trying to always be rational that we're oblivious to our naturally intuitive way of thinking. Intuition is the only way that our minds can form fluid concepts and recognize the constantly moving and winding sinews of reality. This can lead to universal philosophy that will solve all of its own problems and disputes between various schools by using our intuitions to ask the right questions. Philosophizing does violence to our minds. Understanding reality tortures our minds. Philosophy tortures our minds.